What if I told you that everything you've ever dreamed of, the success, the freedom, the fulfillment, could be unlocked with just 3 simple words? Not magic, not luck. Just clarity, belief, and consistent action, triggered by a mindset shift so powerful it can rewrite your future. Today, I'm not here to motivate you with cliches. I'm here to hand you a tool, a mental key, because the truth is the gap between where you are and where you want to be is smaller than you think. And by the time I finish this speech, you'll know exactly what these 3 words are. And more importantly, how to use them to manifest your dreams into reality. Clarity is not just a luxury of thought. It is the foundation of all meaningful creation. The truth is, most people are not held back by a lack of ability or even a lack of opportunity. They're held back by a lack of clarity. They don't truly know what they want. And when you don't know what you want, the world responds with uncertainty. The universe mirrors your indecision. Clarity is power, and when you have it, everything begins to align. The human mind is an extraordinary tool, more powerful than any machine ever built. But just like any tool, it needs direction. If you give your mind vague, unfocused goals, you'll get vague, unfocused results. But the moment you tell your brain exactly what you want, with emotion, specificity, and certainty, it begins to search for ways to make that vision a reality. Your brain becomes a filter. It starts to notice opportunities, people, and information that align with your desire. It becomes your most loyal servant, quietly rearranging your perception of the world to match the image you hold with clarity. Think of it this way. If you opened a map and said, "I want to go somewhere," the map is useless. But the moment you say, "I want to go to Paris, France, by next summer," now the map becomes a tool. Now directions matter. Now the route becomes real. The clearer the destination, the more accurate the path. The same rule applies to your life. The clearer you are on your destination, the faster and more effectively you can get there. Clarity removes the fog. It transforms guesswork into intention. When you lack clarity, your energy gets scattered. You chase multiple goals, get distracted by irrelevant tasks, and find yourself drained at the end of the day without having moved forward. But with clarity, your energy is focused like a laser. You say no to what doesn't serve your vision. You stop entertaining distractions. You begin to act with purpose. You start making decisions that move you forward instead of decisions that simply fill your time. Most people confuse movement with progress. They stay busy, they work hard. But without clarity, they are sprinting in circles. When you're clear, every action becomes strategic. Clarity is not only about the what, it's also about the why. Knowing what you want is powerful, but knowing why you want it gives you emotional fuel. It gives your goals depth. If your why is strong enough, you will find the how. You will push through obstacles, endure temporary setbacks, and continue moving forward when others would quit. Your why anchors you in purpose, and that is impossible without clarity. There's a reason high performers in every industry spend time visualizing their goals. Visualization is not daydreaming. It is a practice of clarity. When you see your future clearly in your mind, you activate the parts of your brain responsible for motivation and focus. You begin to believe it's possible. You begin to act as if it's already yours. But you can't visualize what you haven't defined. You can't imagine something that's only half formed in your thoughts. Clarity gives birth to vision. People often fear clarity because clarity forces commitment. When you declare what you truly want, you can no longer hide behind excuses. It becomes real. The fear of failure suddenly grows because now your dreams are exposed. Now they are visible to yourself and to others. But that fear is not something to run from. It is something to embrace. It means you care. It means you're no longer willing to drift. Clarity demands courage, but it rewards you with direction. One of the greatest tragedies is that many people spend their lives climbing a ladder only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. They chase dreams handed to them by parents, by society, by expectations, and never stop to ask themselves, is this what I truly want? Clarity means being honest with yourself. It means filtering out the noise, shutting out the opinions of the world, and listening to the quiet voice inside that knows your truth. When you gain clarity on what success looks like to you, you take your power back. You stop comparing. You stop copying. You start creating. This clarity becomes your compass. On days when motivation fades, clarity keeps you moving. It reminds you what matters. It protects you from distractions dressed as opportunities. When someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your vision, clarity makes it easy to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of purpose. It's not that you're too busy, it's that you're too focused. You are no longer available for things that do not serve your mission. That kind of clarity is magnetic. It draws the right people, the right ideas, and the right energy into your life. Every great invention, every breakthrough, Every transformation began with someone getting crystal clear on what they wanted. They didn't start with the how. They started with a vision, detailed, bold, and unshakable. The how came later. That's how manifestation works. When you're clear about what you want and you pair that clarity with belief and action, reality begins to shift. You begin to notice synchronicities. Doors open. Not because the universe suddenly decided to help you, but because you finally knew what door to knock on. Clarity changes your posture. It changes your decisions. It changes your trajectory. We've all met people who seem unstoppable. Their presence alone feels different. It's not luck. It's clarity. They're not wondering what they want. They're not questioning their worth. They've made the decision. And because they've made the decision, the world starts to rearrange in their favor. People are drawn to certainty. Investors, clients, partners. They don't follow confusion. They follow vision. And vision comes from clarity. Even in times of doubt, you can return to your clarity. It's your anchor. There will be days when the path feels uncertain. There will be moments when fear whispers in your ear. But if your vision is clear, you can keep going. You may adjust your methods, you may pivot your strategy, but the destination stays the same. That is the power of clarity. It gives you both focus and flexibility. Getting clear isn't always easy. It takes reflection. It takes asking hard questions. It requires stillness in a world obsessed with noise. But it is worth it. You might need to disconnect to reconnect. You might need to step away from distractions, from the opinions of others, from the constant rush, just to listen to your own voice. Clarity lives in the quiet. Once you have it, you must protect it. Every day, you will be tempted to dilute your vision. You'll be offered shortcuts, comfort zones, and compromises. But clarity isn't passive. It's a decision you make daily to stay aligned, to stay honest, and to stay hungry. If you lose your clarity, you lose your power. You start reacting instead of creating. You drift, you doubt, you downplay your dreams. But when you stay clear, your dream stays alive. Even when life throws challenges your way, and it will, clarity becomes your guide. When others panic, you remain grounded. When things fall apart, you know what to rebuild. Clarity doesn't mean life is perfect. It means you know what matters, even when things get messy. It means you know your direction, even in the storm. That's how leaders are made, not in calm waters, but in chaos navigated with clarity. Clarity also unlocks momentum. When you know the next step, you're more likely to take it. You don't wait for the perfect plan. You move. You build. You learn. Clarity gives you permission to start small, but think big. It reminds you that progress isn't about speed. It's about alignment. One step in the right direction beats 100 in the wrong one. And when those steps are guided by clarity, they compound. They build confidence. They build consistency. And consistency over time creates transformation. Ultimately, clarity is not just a tool. It's a lifestyle. It's how you approach your goals, your relationships, your time. It's how you choose what to give your energy to. It's how you separate the essential from the noise. It's how you stop living by default and start living by design. It doesn't mean you have every answer. It means you've chosen your question. It means you've declared what matters. And that declaration becomes the foundation of everything that follows. Act as if is more than a motivational phrase. It's a mindset, a strategy, and a principle for transformation. It's the practice of aligning your thoughts, behaviors, and choices with the version of yourself who has already achieved what you desire. It's not pretending. It's not faking. It's stepping into the identity of your future self so completely that you begin to think, speak, and behave in alignment with the outcome you want, before the results appear. This shift in identity is where true manifestation begins. The reality is we don't get what we want, we get who we are. You can visualize success, write goals, speak affirmations, and create vision boards, but if your actions are rooted in fear, self-doubt, or scarcity, your results will reflect that. Acting as if bridges the gap between wanting and becoming. It demands that you stop waiting for permission or validation and instead start living in accordance with the future you desire. It's about embodying the mindset, habits, and confidence of the version of you who already has what you're working for. When you act as if, you signal to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you are ready. You begin to rewire your brain for the new identity. Your nervous system adapts. Your body language changes. Your energy shifts. And others can feel it. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach start appearing not because of luck, but because your internal world is now congruent with the external results you want to create. You start attracting experiences, people, and outcomes that match the frequency you're now operating at. The trap most people fall into is thinking they need to wait. They wait to feel confident before taking the leap. They wait for the job title before they start speaking like a leader. They wait for the money before they carry themselves with financial discipline. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Results don't build identity. Identity builds results. When you act as if you're already the person you want to become, you begin to train your mind to accept that version of reality as normal. And once it feels normal internally, it starts showing up externally. Consider any successful person you admire. At some point in their journey, they chose to act as if. They didn't have proof yet. They didn't have guarantees. But they carried themselves with the certainty of someone who would not be denied. They made decisions from their vision, not their current circumstances. They showed up fully, even when no one was watching. They made bold moves, not because they had everything figured out, but because they believed in where they were going. That belief expressed through their actions created momentum, and that momentum became their breakthrough. Acting as if requires self-awareness. You must get clear on who that future version of you is. How do they think? What do they believe about themselves? How do they handle challenges? What habits do they prioritize? What energy do they bring into a room? The clearer your image of your future self, the easier it becomes to step into it. Every day becomes an opportunity to practice being that person. Not just in the big decisions, but in the small ones. How you start your morning, how you speak to yourself, how you manage your time, how you treat others. These micro decisions compound, and over time, you build the identity you once only dreamed of. Acting as if doesn't mean lying or being inauthentic. It means being in alignment with your highest potential. It means making choices that are consistent with your desired future, even when they feel uncomfortable. Comfort keeps you stuck in your current identity. Growth lives in the discomfort of the unknown. When you act as if, you lean into that discomfort. You stretch. You evolve. You show yourself that you are capable of more than your circumstances suggest. And that creates a new sense of personal power. You don't wait to be chosen. You choose yourself. You don't wait to feel worthy. You declare your worth through your actions. You don't wait for certainty. You move with faith. That is the power of acting as if. It collapses the time between who you are now and who you are becoming. It allows you to live in the frequency of your future right now. Imagine walking into a room with the confidence of someone who knows they belong. Imagine applying for the opportunity with the mindset that it's already yours. Imagine treating your side hustle like $1 million business before the first sale. Imagine speaking about your goals with certainty instead of hesitation. These are the subtle shifts that acting as if creates. They may seem small in the moment, but they have ripple effects. People respond to the energy you bring. Life responds to your level of belief. There's a difference between arrogance and embodiment. Acting as if is not about pretending to be better than others. It's about embodying the best within yourself. It's rooted in humility, not ego. You're not trying to impress the world. You're trying to impress your own soul. To prove to yourself that you're willing to rise, that you're ready to lead, that you're no longer available for small thinking, self-sabotage, or playing it safe. The discomfort you feel when you start acting as if is normal. It's the friction between your old identity and your new one. It's the part of your brain that wants familiarity, resisting change. But discomfort is not danger. It's a sign of growth. Keep showing up. Keep choosing the habits, the language, and the posture of your future self. Eventually, what once felt forced will become second nature. The new version of you will no longer feel like a costume. It will feel like home. Acting as if also means making decisions based on where you're going, not where you are. That might mean investing in yourself before you feel ready. It might mean saying no to things that no longer align, even if they're comfortable. It might mean setting boundaries, taking risks, or raising your standards. These are not easy choices, but they are necessary if you want to elevate your life. You can't create a new reality with the habits and decisions of your old one. Transformation requires alignment. There will be days when you slip back into old patterns, when the voice of doubt grows loud, when your current results don't match your vision. That's okay. You're not faking. You're training. You're practicing. Every day you act as if you reinforce the belief that change is possible, that your future is not just a dream, but a destination you are moving toward with intention. Progress is rarely linear. What matters is consistency, the commitment to return to your vision again and again. When you act as if, you also inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible when someone decides to take control of their story. Your courage gives others permission to find their own. You shift not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. That's the hidden power in this principle. It's not just about personal success. It's about impact. It's about leadership. And the best leaders are not those who have it all figured out. They're the ones who are bold enough to go first. Acting as if creates a bridge between belief and reality. It turns ideas into action. It transforms goals into standards. It elevates your expectations of what's possible. When you live from your vision instead of your limitations, you become unstoppable. You begin to show up differently. You speak differently. You move through the world with a quiet kind of power, not because you've arrived, but because you've decided. You don't wait to be successful to feel successful. You feel it now. You don't wait to be confident to take the leap. You leap now. You don't wait to have the evidence. You become the evidence. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how the invisible becomes visible. That's how you turn intention into reality. Acting as if doesn't mean every day is perfect. It doesn't mean you always feel fearless. But it does mean you've committed to something bigger than your fear. It means you've chosen to lead yourself, even in uncertainty. It means you've decided to live in alignment with your highest vision, not your lowest doubts. Let me know when you're ready for the speech conclusion, or if you'd like me to help you connect both keynotes into a full structured motivational speech.